All right, guys, so I want to introduce you guys to Pingdom speed test. This really helped me look inside my website and see, hey, what are people in different parts of the country seeing as far as load time? Is it too slow? What are the issues? What is the deep diving issues that I need to fix in order to have a good load time? Now, first of all, before we continue, what is a good load time? So I did this actually for the Fish Finder store, and the load time is 2.17, which is ridiculously fast. That is insane. What you're really searching and looking for is like anywhere in the threes. Somewhere in the threes is good. If you're at a 4 point something, look at your page size. How much is on your page? How big are your images? So a little side note is that I really deep dove into conversion optimization and making sure that it was always loading quickly, because after a certain point, if you're over 5 seconds, I think every second after that reduces like the amount of patience or the amount someone is going to want to wait by like 20%, and like people just continuously will start dropping off. So you need to have a fast load time. Now here's the benefit, is that everything I showed you in this program, in this course, is by far the most conversion rate optimized tactics you can do for load time. Shopify is extremely quick because they have just everything optimized. They have a CDN, they have a NBSN, I'm just kidding. They have just so much stuff that truthfully goes way out of my knowledge base. But when I was looking into it and talking to my developer, they were telling me like literally how great everything is under this house, and I'm like, okay, awesome. Now also with gem pages, it also compresses a lot of your images and makes it very fast for page speed. You'll see that's one of their check marks for a good selling point. I tested it and made sure, and I tested it against a lot of other page builders, and yes, it works beautifully. Now what I want to show you is actually how this works, and then I'm actually going to go in and show you some things that I could change about this website and how I'd go about it. So first of all, you want to type in your URL right here, and you actually have a full list of options that you can choose to kind of test your website. So depending on where your visitors are coming from, I usually do just San Francisco, and then I'll start the test. So let's go ahead and start it again. And it'll start running, and we'll see what the page speed is again. And you want to do this at least twice. If the first time it was kind of like odd or slow, you could do it again and see what it does. But regardless, it shouldn't be over, like it shouldn't go into the 5. If you see 4, that's a warning, like somewhere in the 4s. So let's see, it's loading. Oh wow, that's great, 1.3 seconds, that's ridiculous. Now don't expect a 1.3 seconds, because as you start getting traffic and I don't know, adding more to your website, there's no way it could stay at 1.3 seconds, it just can't, and especially it might be caching a little bit. But what I wanna do is actually scroll down, and I want to show you some of these. So it says add expires headers, DNS lookups. These are all things that I actually had to go back, especially in my case study store. I hired a developer to go in, and we learned all about this. Well, I learned, he knew everything. So I learned all about this, and he did everything, but I was still curious, and I was like, okay, how do we do this? Especially compressing components with gzip. This was absolutely huge. And now obviously, I don't do developing. I never want to learn that because it's just going to be way over my head. But what I would do, and I would suggest, is if you're seeing a load time over 4.5, then I would suggest going to Fiverr, literally exactly what I did, 1-to-1, and I typed in page optimization speed for Shopify, and there's a bunch of these experts. Now this guy is using GTmetrix. It's very similar to Pingdom, and he analyzes your page score and it gives you a grade. That's very nice. But I would actually go with someone who is probably priced higher. You want someone that is like legitimate, especially if this is a long-term business. So that's exactly 1-to-1 what I would do, approach some of these guys, but I want to actually scroll down a little bit lower. One thing that you could do easily is reduce your image sizes. What you want to make sure is that, first of all, your image size on all of your, like on your landing page, on your home page, you want to make sure that it's not like 1 megabyte, like 2 megabytes, like those are huge, right? But what's cool is Gem Pages actually automatically compresses those and optimizes those images. But however, you don't want it to like go through all that work all the time. So it's useful if you can have your image, like don't upload an enormous image, right? Now, it's not something to focus on too much unless, I'm telling you, literally, unless you have over a 4.5. If you're under a 4.5, especially if you're in the 3s, awesome. And make sure that, you know, you're testing in the USA. That's kind of where I put my benchmark. Other places, you know, it's gonna fluctuate. It just will. So I'm gonna keep scrolling down. Another thing is scripts. That's fine. This is something that's going to be a little bit tough to change, but fonts, make sure you're not using like more than 2 fonts on a page. Like if you're using like 5 different actual fonts, like, hey, this is Arial, this is Avenir, this is this, then it actually takes longer to load. So I'm just trying to give you some like free advice. But what's really cool, and to kind of bring this all together, is I've experimented and literally went through all the apps, all of the platforms, and made sure, okay, what is the best? How do we make it higher in conversion? How do I fix this issue and this issue? Well, now you guys literally have everything pretty much on a silver platter, but you guys are having the same setup that I use over and over, so you should be good, but I just want to give you guys this tool. So go ahead, you can check out this website, pingdom.com. I'll probably leave the link as well below. But this is super cool, and so let's go ahead and continue in the other videos.